Shalom, 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 shalom. First and foremost, giving infinite praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh Bashim El Shah, Bashim Hakwadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders, a great millstone. Shalom, salutation. See sincere Akims across the four winds, pushing this truth with sincerity of heart. I'm your fellow servant, Kasamagan from the DC camp, coming at you through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim El Shah, Bashim Hakwadash, to feed the elect. And today, I'm just gonna put out a quick video, man. Hopefully, uplift the hearts of the men and the women of Israel, hopeful elect, so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans that are faithfully awaiting the return of our Lord and Savior, Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, whom the world has ignorantly known as Jesus Christ. Basically, being in captivity, aka slavery, it's not fun. It's the worst thing that's ever happened to the nation of Israel. Actually, it's the worst thing that can ever happen to a race of people. Sometimes you wake up, I mean, you deal with it, we deal with it in different ways. Sometimes it's whatever, sometimes it's really rough. But you always have hope. And, seeing videos like this, made me really laugh. But laughter is good for the soul, especially, when you're in slavery. So seeing this, man, made me laugh, and it gave me great joy and great hope that the deliverance is near. The sweet fall of your enemies, to be able to see this with your own two eyes, is really beautiful. So I'm just gonna press this. As a matter of fact, let's get the title, man. This is kidspot.com. It says, I'm a male high school teacher and I wear stilettos to class most days, right? It says I'm a male high school teacher and I wear stilettos to class most days. Let's play this video, man. Let's play this beautiful piece.
I teach high school, and most days of the week I come to school in stilettos. I get to stand at about 6'6", and the reason why is so I can create an explicitly queer space for all of my students. That way they know that this place is a place for them, by them, and because I never had one of those growing up. So, yeah, bit of a beast.
So, yeah. So basically, listen, in the past, like, I would see stuff like that, man, I would get really upset, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, when you understand war and you finally get a real grasp of war, there's certain things that you see and you really meditate on. You're like, hold up, I shouldn't really be getting upset at this. Like, I should really be happy that this is happening. If you really understand what is going on and what is happening, when a man captures you and captures your family and basically takes over your family, puts you in slavery, and then holds you down for so long, and then all of a sudden you see that man, turn into a woman, or want to be a woman, right? Those are signs. Okay, yeah, we can get upset because we know it's that's totally against the scriptures, but those are signs that man who's over you is falling, and those are great signs. Like, this really, like, I laughed and this made me feel really good because I understand what this is. This is beautiful, man. If you understand what's going on, and you see your enemy, your male enemy, wanting to be a woman, man, that should bring joy to your heart, because you know where this is what's gonna happen, and I'm gonna show you in the scriptures. But first, let's read like a little bit. It says, while some of us haven't worn heels since the pandemic started, a male high school teacher has gone viral for revealing that he wears stilettos to class most days. The veteran teacher, who posts under the username just a queer teacher, chooses to strap his heels on each morning, despite the fact that they make him nearly 2 meters tall, and wears them as he walks the best part of 5 kilometers around the classroom every day. It says, the reason I do it is so we can create an explicitly queer space for all my students. All right. So that way they know this is a place for them by them, because I never had one of those growing up. So yeah, I'm a bit of a beast. Okay. Oh wow. Okay. You see that? Hairy legs with stilettos and all that. So, like I said, when I first came into the truth, things like this would completely just make me spaz out. But the more you understand where you are, Babylon is gonna be Babylon. You know what I'm saying? So we don't do this to stop Babylon from being Babylon. We do this because we want to be delivered out of Babylon. And when you start seeing things like this, these are signs that the deliverance is near. All right. So first, let me go to Jeremiah chapter 50, and I know I had it. I had it too, man. Let's see. Jeremiah 50. All right, Jeremiah 50 and 37. It says, a sword is upon their horses. Remember, Jeremiah 50 and Jeremiah 51 is speaking of the virgin daughter of Babylon, a.k.a. these United States. All right, and everything that's going to go down, that's going to show you signs that this place is out of here. It says, a sword is upon their horses and upon their chariots and upon all the mingled people that are in the midst of it. All right, the mingled people. Why? Because America is, it's a multitude of mingled. What? It's multiple races, multiple nationalities in one land. Okay, that's the virgin daughter of Babylon. Okay, it says, and they shall become as women. It says that they shall become as women. A sword is upon her treasures, and they shall be robbed. So that the Most High spoke about it in Isaiah 19, that he is put on a perverse spirit upon spiritual Egypt, which is also the virgin daughter of Babylon, modern day Egypt, spiritual Egypt, and Sodom. Okay, so it's a perverse spirit. So because a man represents strength, a woman represents weakness. All right, and then you say, well, what does that mean? It's balance. That's just what it is. It's just a balance. Okay. That's why you have, but the people get offended because, oh, you said strong, you said weak. Well, that's just the balance. Okay. So if you definitely don't want your woman to be strong and your men to be weak. That's what's been going on in the nation of Israel, beginning with the tribe of Judah on down, where our women have been strong and bold and courageous and manly and masculine. But while the men have been kind of effeminate, super emotional. That's the reason why we've been getting, one of the many reasons why we've been getting our asses handed to us, you know what I'm saying, for over 500 years. But on the flip side, our enemy was always a strong. You look at the George Washington, the Thomas Jefferson. Now, these dudes are perverts or whatever, but they still had like a masculine frame about them. And they still had, for the most part, they had their women in check. They did not desire to be, not all of them, a lot of them still did on the low, but out in the front, the appearance that they put out was always a masculine frame, and they didn't allow their women to be masculine. But now you see a lot of the things is flipping a little bit. Like you around Edomite women, they talk boldly. They got this masculine thing. You see these Edomite women, they work out, they're personal trainers. They're always building muscles and stuff. So it's like, whoa. And then you see the Edomite man that's like, he's just desperate to wear heels, man. He's desperate to be a woman. That is a great thing to witness as an Israelite, because these are signs that it's almost over. Okay? Jeremiah chapter 51 and 30, it says, the mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight. They have remained in their holds. Those holds are those safe spaces. Okay, that's what it is. When instead of being out there being a man and fighting and do what you got to do, when you decided, nah, man, I don't want to put my life out there. I don't want to be a man like I'm supposed to. You look for a safe space where nobody can hurt your feelings. Nobody can hurt. That's why they keep talking about safe spaces. All right, is this is what's happening to a nation where the men have been severely weakened, which is great. You know, I don't want the Edomite male to gain masculine frame. You want the Edomite male to want to wear heels. You want him to desperately want to be a woman, because that's how kingdoms fall. So when I saw this, I was like, beautiful. This is wonderful. This is great. This made me feel really, really good, because I understand war and how things go, and who conquers, who gets conquered, all of these different things. So I don't spaz out like I used to when I was first coming up. You know what I'm saying? Just better understanding of warfare makes me understand. See, okay, cool. This is good. This is good. That's happening to my enemy. This is beautiful. This is perfect. All right. So it says, let me read it again. It says, the mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight. They have remained in their holds. Their might have failed. They became as women. They have burned her dwelling places. Her bars are broken. All right. So, and now, this is Mark chapter 3, verse 27. And the Lord spoke about this, right? It says, no man can enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods, except he will first bind the strong man. And the strong man for a very long time has been Edom, Esau. When it says strong right there, strength is not only represented by your ability to win a one-on-one combat. Okay, you have individual strength, but you have overall strength. Although individually, the nation of Israel, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we're individually stronger. As an overall, we're not the strongest, because wow, we're not the wisest. When I say in the majority, we're not the wisest, we're not the most knowledgeable. We don't have that link with our power. That's why Esau is the strong man. But for Esau to go down, the strong man has to be binded up. So when you see the strong man say he wants to be a weak woman, he wants to be a woman, man, like you should be elated. Like, yeah, please. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? Because you know where this is going. This is strictly biblical. Historically, when the men are weak, the empire gets conquered and the men get slain. The women get ravished. The children, the boys get killed. The rest go to slavery. So all these things, this is something that's been happening in history, and it has not changed. Just because people wear suits and ties and talk the diplomacy and politics, those things, those basic things have not changed. Okay. It says, no man, Mark 3:27, no man can enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods, except he will first bind the strong man, and then he will spoil his house. Now, who is binding the strong man? Who is binding Esau? It's not us. It's Yahweh Ba'Shem Shah. It's our power. It's the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, and his son, Yahweh Shah. He's the one who put this perverse spirit to bind the men. So it's weakening the hearts of the men. And you have to understand something. The reason why a lot of battles was won is because of the hearts of the men who fought these battles. When you go back into the history in the Bible, several times the Lord would tell Israel to do certain things, to wait out a certain period of time. And I've talked to one of the occupants about this. The more I went back and reread, and Spirit just, revealed to me that, hey, a lot of these times when the Most High say, wait this amount of time, and then he'll come out suddenly and say, go into the city. The city is ready. It's ready for the taking the hearts of the men. I've given the hearts of the men unto you. And then I will go into deeper into certain instances where it would be infightings all of a sudden. It would be craziness that will spark up within these nations, where all of a sudden the men's bravado will go away. Sometimes it will be revolutions. Sometimes it will be coups. Like a coup all of a sudden will go down. And while Israel is in the outside waiting, the Most High telling us to wait. A coup goes down in the city while they out here, like they don't know what the fuck going on. And the Lord's like, cool, now they're ready, go in and get them. So it was so many things that would happen that would get the hearts of the men weak and not ready to fight. And the Most High would spark these things up, man. So the Most High's always been setting things up for the nation of Israel, man. He decides who wins or who loses battle. All right. He decides what man is going to have courage to fight and what man is not going to have the courage to fight. That's why we trust in Yahweh Ba'Shem Shah, not ourselves. Okay? That's why you see certain guys. I'm gonna say this the last thing. That's why you see certain guys, even in fight and combat, all that boxing, whatever. A guy who's known for being a really big fighter, sometimes he's just not in it. And he's getting this you know what handed, and there's a major upset because you don't know what that man when he woke up that day, the Most High weakened him because for whatever reason, the Most High got his own reasons, and now he's getting his ass handed to him. And he'll tell you, nah, I just wasn't in the zone. It's like, it was all mental and the most. Listen, man, what's happening now is beautiful, man. So now I'm gonna show you an example. And the Most High did this to us. The Most High did this to us, the nation of Israel, that when he got angry at us to try to have us taken down by the nations. This is Leviticus 26:33. And I will scatter you amongst the heathen. I will draw out a sword after you, and your land shall be desolate, your cities waste. Then shall the land enjoy her Sabbath, as long as it lieth desolate, and ye be in your enemy's land. So the Lord got so upset. He was like, man, I'm going to get you Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans up out of here, man. So at least the land is going to be breathing because y'all are being wicked. And I'm gonna scatter you amongst the heathens, which ultimately that's how, we ended up being called the Gentiles. Okay. It says, and even then shall the land rest and enjoy her Sabbath. Verse 35, as long as it lieth desolate, it shall rest, because it did not rest in your Sabbath when ye dwell upon it. All right. Verse 36, it says, and this is the point. And upon them that are left alive of you, and particularly the men, right? Yahweh Shai will send a faintness into their hearts. What is that faintness? Faintness is weakness. So the Most High said, I will send a weakness into the hearts of the men of Israel, right? I will send a faintness into their hearts in the lands of their enemies, and the sound of a shaken leaf shall chase them. You know what I'm saying? So the men would turn up into straight bees, if you know what I'm talking about. It says, and they shall flee as fleeing from a sword, and they shall fall when none pursueth. Look at those videos back in the 60s, like when we was being water hosed and dogs was getting sick on us. And you like, man, these are, Billy Club. And it's just like, it's just like, yo, like you could see Jake was scared of individuals that physically were not as strong as them, but it was just this fear that the Most High put into the hearts of the men of Israel in particular to not be able to fight back against Esau. That's why we've been dominated for so long. You know what I'm saying? But now the Most High's flipping that. Now the man who's got the Billy Club, you know what I'm saying, he got stilettos. And the man who's used to get Billy Club, now he's getting back to power and regaining his manhood, in Yahweh Shem Shai. So it's beautiful to see our enemy, the males, the males of the nations, want to wear stilettos and want to create spaces. That's a beautiful thing. They should do a lot more of that. You know, say these schools should be just full of Edomites and nations that wanna go on the feminine side. That's a beautiful thing, man. All right. So. And I'm going to conclude with this. This is Sirach chapter 25 or Ecclesiasticus 25:7. It says, there be 9 things which I have judged in my heart to be happy. And the 10th I will utter with my tongue. A man that has joy of his children, which we're not able to do that here because we're still slaves. And he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy. Seeing that video made me feel real good. That made my day, man. So, and that's the mindset we should be getting into. You know what I'm saying? Understanding that these things have to happen. These are signs that we almost up out of here, man. So with that, I'm going to say, Kal Halayim La Yahweh Shemel Shah. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom. Salutation to you, sincere occupants across the 4 winds. Stay strong, stay vigilant, stay faithful. Yahweh Shemel Shah Barakatam. Shalom.